Hi, welcome! We're still continuing to read, so I hope you buckle up and get your ass ready, baby. Next up, it's called the Character Designs Freedom, right? Free ideas and possibilities and combining things together when it comes to character design. It's a season 2. Comparing to others, the scenario volume and its intricacies. Yes. Scenario volumes and its intricacies have quite increased. Simultaneously, event cut in. Beginning with an event cut in, showcasing visuals and showing inside the battle, there's additional gimmicks. I felt like a lot of so essentially the interviewer is saying during season 2 there was a lot of event cuts, a lot of pictures, a lot of battle motions, battle gimmicks, and a lot of storytelling through battle sequence through gimmicks. That was very impressive. Takeuchi says season 1続行工事で作っていたこともあって必要なものはその場で作っていくという今以上にライブ感の強い進行でした。So it's essentially saying that season 1 was definitely hands-on demand, on the go, on the spot. Whatever we needed, we made it on the dot. It was like a live, it felt like a live, in real time feelings, and we were continuing with that spirit onward. イベントカットに関してもイラストレーサーはタイムーンシャー外の方がほとんどなのでこちらの無謀のスケジュールを抑えることはできません。だから確実にやってもらえるかわからない以上イベントカットは基本的には入らない方向で制作していたんです。でも第1部終章でやっぱりどうしても必要なところには入れたいよねという話になり第1部7章から少しずつ入れるようになったんです。そして第2部から必要なものは計画を立てて実行に前に用意しておくことにしました。必要を立ててしておくことに身をしてイラストレーさんとご協力でイベントカットとか用意を盛り込むようになりました。Alright, so yeah, essentially Takeuchi says season 1 was literally on the spot, on the go, almost like a live action slash in real time creation. But around the ending, around the end halfway point of season 1 and finale area, we really wanted to add these cut in schedules and battle gimmicks and etc. We really wanted to implement it. So little by little, while we were conversating, we started adding them starting from chapter 7, Babylonia. And when season 2, starting from season 2, we planned everything up necessary ahead and prepare it for when the time is needed. That required definitely Mr. Illustrators and helps in order to get the event cut pictures and motions necessary. And from there, we started to pile it on and pile it on and pile it on. FGO が面白いからこそイラストレーターの方法も高いモチベーションでイベントカットの制作を望んでいたのとは思います。I says because FGO is so fun, I'm pretty sure high motivated illustrators created event cuts the way they wanted to, and the way it became the norm is what I think, says the interviewer. Nasu says, we are having and we are borrowing and we are obtaining a character that was designed with their heart and soul and effort implemented in them. We wanted to make that, we wanted to do our very best to make it something wonderful. That's what we are thinking every time making things happen. I really hope that belief and my that thought was able to quote unquote deliver is what I hope. Takeuchi says you're quite correct. Every time we get a new servant, the user base gets a large reaction out of it. And as an illustrator who created these characters, I think it's definitely worth their time, and I hope they get love and they feel the love towards them as well. でも僕は他にも理由があると思っていました。ナスキノコのことを言うクリエイターと一度仕事をすると分かっているんですが、自分がデザインしたキャラクターをすごく大切にしてくれていると強く感じるのですよ。ナスさんをはじめとする FGO のライター陣はかなり細かい細かいところまでサーバントの設定を作り込んでから発注するので、デザインする側もその熱意に答えなければないという嫌が上にも気合が入るんですよ。So essentially, Takeuchi says every time a new servant gets created, user base gets a large reaction out of it, and I hope the illustrators be happy at how we made, and I hope the illustrator is satisfied with the quote-unquote character you see in front of them. It says, it says, but Takeuchi thinks there's other reasons to it simultaneously. Because if you're working with Nasu Kinoko as the creator, if you're working with him even once, you'll understand immediately that he will treasure your design and your character as much as he can and very valuably. And then you'll feel confident on your creation. It says, obviously, starting from Nasu, right? Starting from Nasu, a lot of the FGO writers have quite the detail when it comes to servant settings and whatnot. And there's so many details creating these servants. The designer gets touched by their passion, and the passion burns to the artist, and it goes on to try to answer the passion's call. And so even sometimes you don't feel like it, when you read it, you get fired up because of its intensity. Uh, 確かにざっくりしたイメージだけを伝えてこんな感じでお願いしますということはしません。そのキャラクターのバックボーンや内面、イメージなどとも細かく的にお伝えした上で、こういうキャラクターなんですが、デザイン面であなたの才能を爆発させてくださいという形でお願いするのが僕らのやり方です。So Nasu explains that it says, I kind of give it a vague image and says, I would like it like this. Wait. 確かにざっくりしたイメージだけ伝えてこんな感じでお願いしますということはしません。Okay. It says, I don't go vague.For an example, says, please do it somewhere like this. I will never do that. I want to make sure, understand, and explain the characters' backbones and their insides, their personalities, and their images, down to their details and examples. I want to tell everything. And then ask the artist, this is the character, but I want to use your talent to make these designs explode to your color. And that's what we always ask of them to do so, and that's how we do it. So it's essentially Nasu gives out really good instructions and tells them to do it in their own style. サーバントのデザインを誰に依頼するのかどのように決めているのですか? So the interviewer asks, when it comes to servant designs, who do you ask or what's the criteria on asking said servant? まずサーバントの設定を担当ライターと固めます。どんな英雄でどんな宝具を持っていてどういう見た目なのかをライターに一緒に集めていくうちになんとなくキャラクターの和縁と羅生が見えていくんですよ。そしてそのキャラクターをどなたにお願いしたらイメージに合うデザインにしていただけるのか、親和性の高そうな作家さんを探してお願いするという形ですね。言うなれば、まず配役をあり キーでイメージに合うキャストを探すのに近いですね。So, Takeuchi explains, first and foremost, we collab and concrete the servant settings by the quote-unquote the writer that's in charge of this character. What kind of hero are they? What kind of noble phantasm will they have? What will they look? And together with the writer, we kind of create like this basically detailed but not perfected silhouette-esque concreted character. And then afterwards, those characters, we talked to ourselves what kind of person we could ask to make the characters into our images in our designs. And what we do is we try to find the perfect affinity, or try to find a artist or a writer or a person who is aptitude is the best for this type of image. It's almost as if you're trying to find a role and you're like casting a perfect role for this said character every time. And then Nasu goes, 最初のイメージした割りを合わせて素晴らしいデザインが上がってきたら、それはもう大喜びですね。でもたまに我々の想像の定めを上を行くデザインが来ることもがあって、発明王なのになんで頭がライオンなの？でも超面白いからOK みたいな、もともとこちらが用意した設定には頭がライオンとは一切も書いていないのに、あのデザインが上がってきたからあの強度を抜かされましたね。パコさんにどうしてエジソンの顔がライオンなんですかと聞いたら、わからないと言われましたよね。そっか、書いた本人がわからないからしょうがないな。Damn, that's wild. And so Nasu specifically says, it says with all the first images and kind of the backbone details that we're given to, if a wonderful design gets created, then we are all happy and ecstatic. But sometimes these designs will go beyond our fascinating imagination as well. So for an instance, the perfect example will be the Inventor King. For some odd reason, the man himself has a lion head, but it was pretty hilarious, so we gave it an okay sign. In our original design, there was not even a single mention of a head of a lion whatsoever in our details, but when the design came up, he had a head of a lion, and we were quite baffled by the balls Mr. Paco had in order to showcase it. And then Takeuchi says, we asked Paco, why does Edison's face have a lion face? And when we asked that specific question, Paco immediately answers, he doesn't know. Parentheses lol. And Nasu says, oh, I see. If the person who drew it truly doesn't understand it, then it can't be helped it, and we'll go with it. And the interviewer says, あのデザインを見て、あれがエジソンだと分かる人はいないと思いますよ。Haha. It says, I'm pretty sure looking at that design, I don't think a lot of people would have noticed that he was Thomas Edison. Parentheses, laugh. Then Nasu goes, でも実際のエジソンの証明書と見比べていると、ちょっと垂れたつぶらな瞳や感覚的にある口元なのが意外にもライオン頭のエジソンとそっくりなんですよ。ただインパクトを乗したのではなく FGO での設定を生まれた上で念理なリーチを重ねて生み出したデザインだったのでグーもクーも出せませんでした。It says here, in actuality, looking at Thomas Edison's portrait, the more comparison that you have, little by little, you'll notice his eyes and his pupils and the way he has his mouth set up. You start to kind of see a resemblance of a lion. and Thomas Edison's head kind of fit nicely for it. But I don't think they were looking for the reason why they did it was not for an impact effect, but it was with FGO settings that they've all created on its own, and it was a very reaching concept, and then the design was created. So to be perfectly honest, I had no words of disapproval or anything because it was just that fascinating. イラスター側でも自分なりにサーバントの元になった英雄や偉い人のことを調べているんですね。So it says even on the illustration side, a lot of even in the illustration side, they do their homework when it comes to the heroic spirits and the very important people that they are drawing as a servant. こちらから貴重な資源やサーバントとしての背景をお渡しするんですけど、こちらが驚かされるほどに深く調べてくださる方が多いんですよね。FGO という作品に関わる以上全力を尽くさなければいけないと自爆的にリサーチをしてデザインしてくださるんですよ。本当にありがたいです。So Nasu specifically goes, we give details and materials of the servants and giving backgrounds and necessity things that they want. But every time they have deep dived and deep researched and surprise us every time that the illustrators are willing to go forward. It seems that in order to involve themselves into FGO, they go further and beyond and utilize their full potential to explosively research their designs and to make sure that they create their phenomenal piece. To be perfectly honest, I am quite grateful every time. That's Nasu. And then Takeuchi goes, 僕自身もフェイスデーナイトの時から過去の英雄の姿をそのままイメージで描くのではなく、作家の独身のセンスや自由な発想をどれだけ乗せられるかの挑戦し続けていますよ。自分の中でイメージをくらませながら形にしていく程度は思いのほか楽しいですもの。Takeuchi says, I too do the same thing. During the time during Fate's Day Night, whenever imaging the past heroic spirits and heroic beings, I didn't want to draw them just as the image portrayed of him in real life. I wanted to have sense. I wanted to have some images of unique personalities of drawing as a artist. I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to challenge myself of what kind of freedom and what kind of impressions and ideas can I include in these things. And I constantly fight to increase that status. It says, I constantly have an image in my head inside of myself and try to shape it and mold it to my own degree, yet still following the heroic, the past heroes' image. Is something that's very exciting as an artist to challenge to and tackle through. All right. How big is LB6 prompt? Okay, so it's just gonna be a whole fucking LB6 prompt and then LB7 prompt. And then ordeal call and quote unquote my daughter being grand because Nasu's a goat and goat knows goat, and quote unquote finishing the final chapters. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here for this video. Thank you guys so much for coming. Greatly appreciate it. More videos, keep it up. You'll see it. You'll pop it up. You'll see it in an hour. You'll see it daily. Who knows? Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll be live every day in Kick, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. Don't forget to hit like and comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.